Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our Four Corners Economic Development Quarterly Breakfast. My name is Vince Moffit, and I chair the Four Corners Economic Development Board. And I'm speaking on behalf of Tim Gibbs, our CEO, who's actually in D.C. right now meeting with site selectors from around the United States. So wishing Tim some good luck. I'd like to start off by just recognizing some of our elected officials and municipal leaders. We have County Manager Mike Stark here, County Manager, Deputy County Manager Stephen Saavedra, Senator Bill Scherer up front here, DA Fortner, Jack Fortner, County Commissioner Sandra Lanier, County Commissioner Terry Fortner, Farmington City Council Herman Buck. Where's Punch? Oh, there he is. County Commissioner Sam Gonzalez. And former Senator Steve Neville. And Mayor Atencio from the city of Bloomfield. Now, I did this the other night, and I missed somebody, and they didn't tell me. Did I miss any elected officials? Okay. So this morning, we do these quarterly breakfasts, so we try to really focus on something that's really tied to the economic development of our region, different things that are coming up, things we want to educate the public about, and really want to educate people on what is going on in our region for economic development. I already had one individual come up to me today and said, I was asked to come up here, but I have no idea what you guys do. So we realize an important part of Four Corners Economic Development is to share our story and let people know, what we're working on, the great things that are going on in this county to make it better and to help sustain through the future. Today, our topic is education in the region, and we all know how important that is as we start to develop our new leaders, and we hear all these things about how poor our education in the state of New Mexico, but we know in San Juan County, especially those who had individual or kids in schools here, or have went to the school here ourselves, what a great school system we have up here in the Four Corners area. So we're going to start off with Farmington Schools, and I'm going to do a quick intro. Superintendent Diehl, Cody Diehl, is in his 29th year of education. Mr. Diehl earned his Bachelor of Science degree from the secondary education with an endorsement in mathematics from Prescott College in 1995. He earned his Master of Education degree in Educational Leadership from Northern Arizona University in 2000. Mr. Diehl is in his 10th year with Farmington Municipal Schools and his 3rd year as superintendent. Before joining FMS, he served as a high school administrator in San Juan County for 14 years, and he began his teaching and coaching career in Arizona, where he taught mathematics and coached baseball and basketball. Mr. Diehl is married with his twin boys. His wife, Ann, has been employed with Farmington Municipal Schools for 24 years, and his boys attended Farmington Schools, K-12, and graduated from Piedra Vista High School. He also has a great barber. So, welcome, Mr. Diehl. Joining him is Milo McMinn. He's a director of college and career readiness and secondary curriculum and instruction with Farmington Municipal Schools District. Mr. McMinn is the lead for the FMS District's high school curricular programming, including career and technical education programming, dual credit, work-based learning, high school curriculum development, and teacher instructional support. Mr. McMinn, has over 18 years of experience working as a high school teacher, coach, principal, administrator in New Mexico. He is a champion for creating new and innovative learning experiences for students and has worked to develop robust community partnerships to promote the local economic development in this region. I'm sorry, as I read this, I realize I did not go to Farmington Schools. So, at least not through high school. So, welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having us here this morning. Let me see if I can get this right. All right. I see many familiar faces out there, and I want to thank Mr. Bird for inviting us. Sometimes I see Mr. Bird working out in the morning, and he came up to me one morning at 6:30, and he says, "We want you to come talk at Forset," and I agreed, but he didn't tell me I'm up here on a panel, and there were video cameras, and so, but no, thank you. And I also want to say that joining us this morning, we have Liz Galvan, and I know, wave your hand high. Some of you know her in our community. She runs our work-based learning, and Mr. McMinn is going to talk more about that here briefly. So one thing that I want to talk about a little bit, and Mr. Moffit said it in regards to education in New Mexico, and more importantly, San Juan County, and more importantly, Farmington Municipal Schools. We do get a bad rap, but one thing that gets reported, and that's why we're here today, is that one test score that you see that they compare the rest of us to, and it's very unfair, but we're not going to get into that. I challenge each of you, though, to set a time to come to one of our schools and see what happens there on a daily basis. And I don't see a ton of young faces out there, but school, I believe a third grader today is learning much more than we did when we were in third grade and exposed to many more things. The other thing that I want to highlight in regards to what happens in schools and what we're really trying to do and be innovative in Farmington Municipal Schools, and Mr. McMinn is going to talk more about what that looks like, but school doesn't look much different in terms of the structure and what happens on a daily basis, and we need to change that. You know, we ring a bell every 50 minutes at our high schools, and that's what we did when we were in school. Let's face it, the kids that we see today are growing up differently. They're exposed to different things, whether it's technology, social media. The way we educate our students needs to be different, and proud to say that we're taking steps in that direction, and Mr. Minn's going to talk more about it. But I want to highlight a few things before he does. So where are we and where are we going? And a couple things that we want to highlight are pathways. And Mr. McMinn's going to do a really nice job of this, but student sense of belonging is huge. Getting students motivated to come to school on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and engaging them in things that they want to do. So we're really starting to expand, and Mr. McMinn and his team have done it over the course of the last few years, but expand our opportunities. So we talk about economic growth. We talk about wanting our kids to stay, partnering with the hospital, partnering with the new airport and aviation that Mr. McMinn will talk about, all of our pathways. But one thing that we have found is this, and it's in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide, that our students who are CTE concentrators or take a 2-course sequence in a pathway that interests them have a graduation rate of 97%. Furthermore, with the graduation rate, but then we're going to prepare them to take the jobs into our community. So I'm going to highlight a couple of our graduation, some graduation data that we're really proud of in Farmington Municipal Schools. But you see our graduation rate has steadily increased over the last few years. We are well above the state average in terms of 85.64% for our overall graduation rate. We more graduates ever last year. And I was actually here last night in the same room, on the same stage, talking about our Native American students. And we're going to graduate more Native American students this year than we ever have. So very proud of our graduation rates. And you can see there the breakdown of our schools. Really proud of Rosinante High School. If you look at the increase in graduation rate from 2023 to 2024, looks like a very low number, but for those of you that know Rosinante High School, it's a different animal in terms of when kids join and what it looks like for them. The other thing that we're really proud of, Greg, is there any way when I hit this button, it'll switch on my computer too? Just kidding. Yeah. This is a slide that we're really proud of this year, and Mr. McMinn, thank you for putting it together. But FMS has a graduation rate that is not only higher than the state average, but the highest in San Juan County. Among the largest school districts in the state, we rank third overall. But if you look at our subgroups, this is something that I really want to point out. If you look at our subgroups, the difference is not great in terms of the percentage. And if you look at some of the other districts, I'll point out Albuquerque Public Schools, for example. Their overall graduation rate of 73.5%, and their Native Americans are 56%. The difference between the two. And I think if you look at our graduation rates among our subgroups, and the subgroups, these are only a few that we highlight, but even our students who are economically disadvantaged, we're getting them to cross the stage as well. So, I think the highlight from this slide is that we value every single one of our students, and we're going to do everything that we can to get them across the stage. So, talking about economic development, one thing, and I'm going to invite Mr. McMinn up to take over, but when we talk about economic development in our community and we talk about creating a future for our community, we want our students to stay here. We want our students to be employed in our county, and we want to create pathways starting at an earlier age, and Mr. McMinn's going to talk about this, but we're really going to start pushing down our career exploration and our pathways into our middle schools to gather that sense of belonging and get our students prepared earlier. So the meat of this, why we're here about economic development and creating pathways for our students, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. McMinn. So thank you so much for all you do. And if I don't have a chance to come back up, I will say I've been, as Mr. Moffit said, I was a high school principal in Kirtland. I was a high school principal in Bloomfield. I have not yet worked in Aztec. Milo has. So I think we have it all covered. The support that Farmington gives our students, not only academically, but on our athletic fields, thank you to the city of Farmington for opening the doors and allowing us to participate in their facilities. And hopefully we do the same in terms for our youth. But I want to thank our community, first responders, business owners. Ms. Galvan or Mr. McMinn is going to talk about how many of you open your doors to our students for work-based learning experience. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do, this community does for our students. Really excited over the course of the next week to graduate another 1,300 or whatever the number is. So thank you so much for what you do for Farmington Schools.
Good morning. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our CTE programs, which are career and technical education programs. These are programs that we're trying to give kids an experience while they're still in high school to determine what potential thing or career they want to be. And if not, they learn a skill that they'll have for the rest of their lives. So Cody was talking a little bit about middle school. Middle school looks a lot the same way it did when you and me went. And I went to school in the 1900s. I like to say that with our kids. Actually, I graduated in 2002. But our middle school classes, every middle school usually has a shop class, usually has a fax class. What we found out is not all of these classes still were in existence. At Mesa View Middle School, shop went away. So we've done a lot with leveraging our state funding. Thank you to our legislators and our grant funding in order to provide more coursework for our students. So at the middle school level, we are redesigning our fax courses to be more marketing, retail, business, fashion design, interior design, rolling into our programs at the high school. And then our shop classes now going to be at all 4 middle schools are going to bring in welding, they're going to bring in auto mechanics, and they're also going to bring in construction trades, really rolling into our programs at the high school, and more importantly, giving our kids skills for your future employees. And we're doing this really cool. We're not going to let kids weld at middle school. We have VR, AR, Z spaces so that they can learn those skills till they come to the high school with us. So at Farmington Schools, I'm excited to say we have 19 career pathways. Let me say that again. 19 career pathways of coursework that students get to explore and determine what they want to be. I myself participated in a program like Miss Galvin's, work-based learning, where I thought I wanted to be a police officer. I did a ride-along, no offense with officers in here, but it was not for me. I decided initially right away, oh my gosh, I don't like giving tickets. This is not something, and then I became a principal. The next year, I rolled into a work-based learning experience with a kindergarten classroom. I ran their PE, and I absolutely fell in love with education. Those are the experiences that we want to give our kids. And if you look up here, our 19 pathways, there's a plethora of careers and pathways for economic development, not only for the state, but also our region and our nation as well. Two excited ones I'd like to talk about. Our first program, a new one that's going to happen next year, is aviation at Pier Vista High School. Thank you to Mike Lewis, who brought this curriculum to us. And there's potential other grant funding we're going to go after. So we're hopeful that we're going to train the next pilots, the next aircraft maintenance mechanics that are going to be working here locally with us as well. We are also working with the hospital to do a new CNA course at Farmington High School, hopefully to get all of our medical health careers, occupations, kids, once they leave the high school and walk across that graduation stage, have a certificate ready to go as well. So, industry certifications. We're doing a lot as well to try to get our kids prepared and more employable. Last year, we gave over 1,400 certifications, and some of these certifications, I'll be realistic, like a WD certification isn't the biggest thing or won't make you more employable, but the state counts it, and we get data for our graduation rates as well. But one we're going to institute next year is our OSHA 10 safety and our OSHA 10 certification, which is a lifetime certification for our students. So hopefully, when you're doing interviews, we'll see more of that as well. I'd also like to talk a little bit about our career and technical student organizations, also known as CTSOs. If you look up here, we have BPA, we have Educators Rising, which is our future teachers, Skills USA, which is auto mechanics, welding, and a whole bunch of other programs like culinary arts, Family and Consumer Science, FFA, HOSA, NMAA, Film Prize New Mexico, and those three young men, I just want to give them a shout out. They are two-time state champions for welding fabrication. They took first last year, first this year, and at the national competition last year, they took 7th, which is the highest we've ever had students place in the state of New Mexico. So they'll be going back to Atlanta, Georgia, and hopefully we'll get some hardware coming home to Farmington as well. So dual credit, Toni's here. Dr. Pendergrass, thank you for all you've done for our students. If you look at our data up here, we have considerably grown and grown and grown. A lot of this is to the ability to work with our wonderful partners at San Juan College in offering both on-site at San Juan College, site-based dual credit where our students still get to take normal classes during the day and also take dual credit, and then students that take dual credit in their own time online as well. So we've really grown quite substantially. We have just under 1,300 students taking dual credit this year. And if you look at the number of courses, just over 3,700 credits our students have earned just this semester alone. So our district, thanks to Mr. Diehl, spends about $300,000 in dual credit textbooks. So for our district, any student that takes dual credit, we pay for their textbooks and their fees. College waives the tuition, and return on investment, if our students transfer to UNM, is over $3 million. So this is a huge thing for us in order to get our kids more college ready, work to matriculate them to San Juan College, and then work to get their degrees and come home to Farmington to help our economic development. So again, work-based learning, I know we chatted on it. Liz is out there every day hitting the beat, working with our kids and our teachers to get them placed and get them job-ready skills for the future. So we have 159 students this year, 96 businesses. So if you're interested in becoming a business to intern one of our high school kids, give them an experience to give them exposure, and maybe that's one of your future employees, please get with Miss Galvin after this. She has a list that you can sign up as well. I also wanted to highlight 2 other programs that fall under work-based learning that don't show up in those numbers as well. We also have Teacher Academy courses at both of our high schools where our students, like myself, intern in classrooms throughout the district. And then last year we started a sports officiating work-based learning class where all of our athletes really get certified in officiating and have been placed in our local sports teams in order to be officials as well. So there's some of our internship placements, but this is the meat. This is why I'm really here today. I want to share about a new project we're doing in Farmington, and I need your help. I need your help for our future kids and for economic development. What can this become? Some of you I may know from starting Bond Wilson Technical Center and Central Consolidated. This is something similar but a little different. Hobbs did something like this a couple years ago. So if you know the old Swinburne and you're an old-time Farmington person, that has turned into our Kate Center. So currently we have 2 welding teachers there, we have 2 auto mechanic teachers, and we have 1 hospitality and tourism teacher there as well. We have one of the nicest welding facilities in the state with 27 welding booths and all kinds of really cool tools. So if you want to come see the Kate Center, I would love to show you. Farmington Schools is also building a brand new preschool, which is great because data shows the earlier we can get to kids, the more successful they're going to be, and when they enter the workforce, the more ready they're going to be. So currently our pre-K is at the Kate Center. They will be moving next year and we'll have the rest of the Swinburne or the rest of the Kate Center to do something really special. We want to follow the Hobbs model. So I know we don't have the Permian Basin with millions and millions of dollars to just build a new facility, but what we do have are professionals and dedicated kids that are your next workforce, and we have tons of them to make something special happen. What Hobbs did is they kept educators out of the discussion. We have a blank slate here with auto mechanics, with welders, very successful welders who are going on to state champion competitions, and hospitality and tourism students. We want to imagine with you our next programs, whether that's HVAC, whether that's IT, whether that's plumbing, whether that's who knows what. What industries are going to come to the area? We would like to provide pathways and programs, even along with San Juan College, to give our kids another step. You've seen our graduation numbers. We're doing really well, but that other data point that sticks with me is 97% of our kids graduate that find a program that interests them and are passionate about. 50% of college freshmen change their majors. Our success rates with our dual credit is about 84%, which is not great, but is a lot better than most colleges. So please plan with us. Whatever this could be, I want your advice. I want your opinions. What can we do, whether it's programs for kids, experiences like work-based learning, apprenticeships, pre-apprenticeships, school-based enterprise, and we're starting this year as well. We have everything to do a tire, lube, rotation shop, so we're gonna start taking in our operations vehicles, and maybe in the future you'll see a Kate Tire and Lube where we'll give you discounted rates all run by students. Our hospitality and tourism is taking on FMS Threads, which is a clothing distribution program for our students that are low income. Our kids are going to take ownership, barcode it, build a website, welcome those families in, really work on customer service, and provide a great service to our community. We want to dream together with you and come up with something really special. So I have this save the date. As you know, it's blank. If you go back there and you're interested in being a part of this, again, this is just going to be industry professionals, not educators. We want to come up with something special. Please indicate a date that works best for you. I hear industry likes to meet early in the morning, which makes sense, but come dream with us. This is my plea to you. We want to do something special for our kids that not only impacts them personally, but impacts our community and economic development in this area. So again, I'm Milo. Thank you for your time, and I'll pass it off to these guys. Thank you.
You know, I can attest to the dual credit. My son just graduated with his MBA in global business in 4.5 years, and a lot of it was because of that dual credit. I was thankful because of the money it saved. Huge savings there. So,
One thing I will highlight about that is that I think we're the only district in the county and maybe even the state that go beyond the one course that's required to pay for that textbook. It is a huge investment back to our kids and our community. So
Yeah.
it's paying dividends. So thank you.
yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Great stuff. So, moving on. Shawna Allison Becenti, head of school, Navajo Preparatory School. Mrs. Shawna Allison Becenti is of the Red Running into Water clan and born for the Sauk clan. Her maternal grandfather is the Coyote Pass clan, and her paternal grandfather is the Hairy Ones clan. She was raised in Farmington, New Mexico, and has family ties to Toahatchee, New Mexico, Crown Point, New Mexico, Ganado, Arizona, and Parker, Arizona. As a first alumna to head Navajo Preparatory School, Mrs. Becenti carries a vision of legacy of Navajo Prep School with a strong commitment to innovation. She earned her Bachelor of Arts in Secondary Education with an emphasis in history from the University of New Mexico and a Master's of School Administration from the New Mexico State University. Mrs. Becenti has over 20 years of experience in education, and prior to accepting the role of head of school at Navajo Prep, Mrs. Becenti spent 8 years as a teacher, dean of students, and athletic director at Navajo Prep. 7 years as a principal of Kirtland High School, and 3 years as the assistant principal and athletic director. Under her leadership, Kirtland Central High School was named a bronze medal school in the U.S. News Best High Schools ranking. Mrs. Becenti is committed to serving the local community and increasing educational opportunity for students of Navajo Prep School and the Navajo Nation. She is an example of the Navajo Prep's motto, leaders now and into the future. I would have gave you a hand up, but we both probably would have.
Good morning. Ya'at'e, Shawna Allison Becenti Inishya, Nanish Ajatachi Nian Ashihem Bashashin, Maidishkijni Dashachek Dashanella, Akwit Awamanjle. Hello, it's such an honor. It's wonderful to see the innovation that Farmington Schools is doing, and it's all for kids. And I hope that you see in all of the designs of all of these institutions and even all the colleagues in the San Juan County area, we do our work because, one, for sure it's kids, but because we always love school. I always tell the students, look how much I loved high school, I never left. So, little bit about Navajo Preparatory School, to share a little the history, because sometimes I think people don't realize, they say, where's Navajo Prep? You mean how long has Navajo Prep been here? And, well, we've been here since the 1900s, 1897 to be, we were the Navajo Methodist Mission School. At one time, it was in water flow, and then there had a big flood, and so they had to move and relocate the school. And then I always say that we're an example of federal Indian policy. At the time of assimilation, accommodation, and then you start to see the movement of the school as it follows into the Indian Self-Determination Act of 1968. So it became a Navajo Methodist Mission Academy and then Navajo Academy. Navajo Academy was located in Fort Defiance area, and then they saw an opportunity of a mission school that was starting to, lose its students, and so they said, well, come lease the facilities, and then Navajo Academy emerged. Well, in 91, there was some disputes between Navajo Academy and the Methodist Mission, and that's when the president of the Navajo Nation, Peterson Zaw, really forged Miss OJ, who was the previous head of school for 27 years that I replaced, and they created a college preparatory school for the nation. So in 91, it opened its doors in September as a Navajo Preparatory School. In 95, under President Hale, the land then was purchased by the Navajo Nation, and so that strip is owned and viewed as Navajo Nation land right north of Walmart. So it always maintained its mission, and in the way you say it in Navajo, Yidiskango Natani, the American language simplifies Navajo. And so sometimes when you hear an interpretation, there's they may have spoke a long old phrase, and then when it's interpreted in English, it's very short. It's because there's a lot of movement in the language. When you're talking about Yidiskango Natani, there's description, there's movement, there's beauty that's embedded in what does future look like? When we say Natani, how is the leaders and the quality of leaders, and what does that exemplify? And how are we saying that we're truly creating leaders for now and into the future? It's short, it's specific, it's focused. That is our entire mission of our school. And if we are the true examples of nation builders for the nation, how are we living and breathing that? How is it reflective in curriculum? How is it reflective in policy? How is it reflective in funding? That has to be laser focused. And that's what allows us to do what we do at Navajo Prep. I'm going to fast forward that. People are kind of always wondering, like, who are you guys? How are you guys funded? Like, are you part of the state? Well, we are part of the federal government. We are operated by the Bureau of Indian Education. And so as we see skinny budgets come, pray for us that our funding is not affected, because already we receive 50% less per pupil or weighted student unit than any state school in the United States. Bureau of Indian Education is probably around about $7,000. And so you wonder, God, Prep, you're everywhere. What do you guys do? How do you do what you do? Well, we go after all the other you see. Thank you to our state legislators. Senator Scherer is a huge champion for Navajo Preparatory School, who's been able to help us be able to remember our buildings being 1900s buildings, been able to really vision for the future. If we have this programming for the future to create leaders for tomorrow, how are we ensuring that the buildings, the fixtures, the furnitures, all of that speaks to what leadership in the future looks like? We also have to go after grants, a lot of competitive grants. Just as the CTE programs, we see college and career programming as the springboard into all of those college and career readiness occupations. With a framework and curriculum, which I'll go over later, it helps really propel students to think, okay, what problem do I want to solve for the future? Or what strength do I want to support for the future? So how is it that we ensure that our curriculum, our framework, is providing the skills necessary to enter any workforce and that they are ready? So that means we have to go after grants, CTE grants, and then the Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation has supported our school in whether it's capital outlay, and also they have been very supportive and way back, I want to say probably in the early academy ages, they did create a trust fund for the school, and so we get a little bit of support in that area. So a little bit of breakdown of BIE funding, just so you can see how the money, it's about 90% comes from the Bureau, where ours is the Indian School Equalization Program, which is our ISEP dollars that fund school and students. We also get a little bit of transportation money, but when I say that, they give us transportation money from the first day they get dropped off to Christmas time to spring break and when we drop them home. Any daily transportation, if we run a bus locally, we will get a little funding for that. But at our school, our buses on average run on Fridays all across the nation, and it takes about 5 hours, 6 hours round trip, and those aren't reimbursed. So it's something that it's just all about how legality and how they're determining a residential environment. We house about 65% of our students on campus, and those 65% come from 55 different feeder schools across the United States. We have increased some of our students who come to Navajo Prep. The Albuquerque metro area, we now send a bus, and we pick up on Friday, drop off on Friday, pick up on Sunday, and we go to the Warrior. So there's all these stops that you'll see Navajo Prep students being picked up. But again, it's just to think about how we as educators have to be so creative. With funding, we have to be creative with programming in order to truly support students. We pride ourselves on that we have 5 focus goals. And like I said, that laser sharp, this is how we determine our school. The number one goal we have is language and culture, Navajo language and culture. We do have non-natives at our school because we are an international baccalaureate school, and they too take Navajo history, just as our students in public ed would have to take Spanish or some kind of foreign language if you're headed on a college pathway. Our second goal is academic excellence, but with a holistic focus of wellness. How are we ensuring that we're supporting our students not only through the academic rigor of our school, but the support, the tutoring support, the whole child support. The third is we have to be competitive. We employ about 130 part-time, full-time employees. And for a small little institution, we have to ensure that we're just as competitive with our area schools. So we are very thankful that the governor gives increases to teacher pay, but remember our small little budget, that we don't get the increase to support that pay, but we don't want to lose our teachers to Farmington, to PV, to Kirtland, and so we have to stay competitive. And so again, it just requires us to be that much more creative and have a more vision of how we plan to do this. And that's why we're always talking about benefits and salary and how are we ensuring the wellness of our community, our entire community. The fourth is a new one for us. It's an advancement. In our advancement and outreach team, there's a mindset of how are we ensuring that we are, one, advocating on behalf of kids, advocating for tribally controlled schools at the federal level, advocating within the tribal nations, and how are we ensuring that we're even looking at our philanthropy? Because we are a not-for-profit institution, what are we doing to really support our children? Because a lot of our students who come from all over the United States, how are we supporting them? We are not a tuition school. People think we are a private school. We're not a tuition school. Our fees support the extra. Our fees that students have to pay is in order for us, because remember the skinny budget that we already deal with, it helps for all the extra. Advisory programs. We all know how much athletic programs cost. We don't get high revenue dollars. And so, again, how are we ensuring that we are supporting kids and the best educational experience possible? So our foundation, this is like, when we talk about how are we ensuring the success and how are we living the mission and the vision of the school? Our number one focus is that we have 2 foundations that really hold our school together. One is the International Baccalaureate World Program. And many people are like, what is the International Baccalaureate World Program? I wish I could, it's, many of the public ed knows about advanced placement programs. It's another kind of college preparatory type IB program. The difference is IB is not, you have to be at this pace. It's not a fidelity to a whole curriculum. It's fidelity to skills and standards. And it allows a lot of autonomy to teachers to be creative. So to talk a little bit about the makeup of the IB program, it's designed in these two areas. We were just authorized to be a middle years program. Middle years in IB usually is from 6th to 10th grade. And someday you will see a 6th to 10th grade, just so you know, kind of future thinking. But right now we're only 9th through 10th. The IB program puts the student in the center. And within the student in the center, you see that everything's all about the approaches to teaching, the global context, so everything's about their place in time. How do they see themselves here in Farmington, but then how do you see yourself across the world? What are challenges that we are experiencing so that you can always understand your foundation of here at this space, but your impact to the world? And they always do community service projects. You'll see Navajo Prep all throughout Farmington, San Juan County. We do our part to give back to the community, and it's designed in these specific areas of language, literature, and math, science. We just added film, so that's one of our CTE programs, and our Diné Material Arts course. Diné Material Arts is our entrepreneur. We have a lot of families and even reteaching weaving and rug weaving. It's not just in the beauty of the producing of the rug, but what it takes from start to finish on a rug. And it's something that we do not want that to be lost, because that is such a powerful educational tool and a ways and means for our people. The diploma program is the 9th and 10th and 11th grade. And all of these students stay in these courses for 2 years. We run on a block system, so it's 90-minute courses and it alternates. And this allows the students have to do a senior portfolio. They do a CAS project, and that's all their community service. But again, it's all of these outreach, and it's building those skills necessary to be leaders for tomorrow. What does it take? How are they ensuring that they have a strong voice, a strong sense of self, and that they know that no matter a room they can walk into, that they are going to be able to have conversation and dialogue and realize that they're standing there because of their ancestors. So we pride ourselves on Classroom Without Walls. This Classroom Without Walls has been established even when I went to school there. We've just added, because of really being able to use experiential learning, place-based learning, and we've loved that what Farmington has done to even the ability to learn outside. And so we're doing our first year of water, because water is so important and it's so sacred. And so how do we not only share the messaging and the purpose of it, but then also being able to enjoy it? So we also do a mountain day. That has always been, we go to different sacred sites. We have teachings. And it again all becomes interdisciplinary, because again, our whole focus is if you have a strong sense of self, you are going to be successful no matter the school, the situation, because you have your teachings. We do Unity Day as a day of service. Our Hajona Shah Week, we built our new Hogan back in 2021. It had been there since 1995, but we took it down because it was getting pretty old, and we built a new one. You're more than welcome to come and see. We have a blend of modern and traditional, and it's so modern that it has Wi-Fi inside. So the kids are like, first they didn't want Wi-Fi, then all of a sudden they're sitting and we're all sitting in there and they're like, God, can we access the internet? And they're doing their work. It's really a special place. We do snow day. Many of our students have never been skiing or even have ever even been up north of Farmington. So we're thankful to Durango Resort Purgatory. They give us a really great discount, and we take the school, those that want to ski, and the rest get to explore Durango. And of course, we take advocacy kids. When we go, it's part of building their leadership skills. How we framed at freshman year, they go and they are involved in tribal council at freshman year. The sophomore year, the goal is for them to get involved in city, any kind of city government, know about the city, and this is all students. And then junior year is when we will start now being a little more selective, and we take students to advocate in Santa Fe. And then senior year was the year we took 10 students to Washington, D.C. And so how do you build these skills? Because they are going to be our next leaders. They're going to be the ones who has to know the process and really sometimes even the etiquette when you're dealing with not only your Navajo Nation leaders, but even your federal partners. So I would like to share this video because it really reflects, it showcases who we are as a school and how laser focused we are in what we do.
The purpose of Haudenosaunee Week is to instill and to continue our traditional values and to ensure that students continue to value and find value in their culture.
It means a lot of stuff for me because we have a lot of stuff going on. We had this butchering, we have corn grinding, we have sash belt making, there's a lot more. And it's mostly just hands-on experience for me, getting more connected to the culture.
It means friendship and communication, in which we identify friendship amongst people we never talk to, such as when I instruct people on what to do with things, how to start a fire, where to put things and everything. And it helps me communicate better with people around me.
The biggest teaching I've developed with Haudenosaunee would be the cake making. I learned two different ways, one from Arizona on how they do it, and then one from here in New Mexico, because they both did it different ways, and I learned how to make it both ways.
So it's a whole process of continuing to learn different activities so that you can sort of educate others on what to do, especially with freshmen. Freshmen don't really know what they're doing at first. You have to help guide them.
We are starting to see students being separated from our cultural teachings and arts and craft and the whole material culture. And so what we're doing here is ensuring that students still have that connection, students have the opportunity to engage with their cultural learning. And so we bring a variety of presenters and cultural specialists that help to share their knowledge, and we hope to spark in students an interest in their culture and also the art.
It really comes down to, when you look at kind of this picture, to show when you put a student first and you're trying to you're developing a system and a program that is going to propel them into this future, whether they're future leaders, they're future engineers, they're future doctors. How is it that we're putting all of our teachings from the International Baccalaureate World Program, the rigor of academic, the rigor of the critical thinking, and then our values? We do not never leave out our cultural values and almost universal values of what makes students and homes and the school. You know, when you think about how do you showcase the value of working hard, what does that look like? It's found in making the ground cake. It's found in doing the corn grinding. It's found in hiking a mountain and seeing the teachings, but also having that balance with academia. There's an important role of home, whether it's grandmas and grandpas and aunties, uncles. That's why at the start, the front, you see it has to feel like family. And so this helps shape our laser focus, because ultimately they're the ones who are entering your workforce. They're the ones who are now going to be the future leaders and our goals. Hopefully they are the next commissioners, the next DAs, the next Navajo Nation presidents. And how do we ensure that what we're providing them, that they're strong and ready to move into those spheres? I'm ending with this last slide because it is so important. I am thankful so much for my grandmas and grandpas to give me the identity and the space to stand here before you. But I've only been talking to you in English. Our children and our families, our parents have dealt with the impact of the language loss. This here shows by 2050, 5% Navajo speakers. It is an area that we at Navajo Prep are not just going to let that happen. We're proud that of the 22 bilingual Navajo Nation recipients, Navajo Prep had 10. And the 10 came from the curriculum that we designed, because half of them, it wasn't because it was taught at home. It was because of the push that we've made in our classrooms. The International Baccalaureate World Program, I went to Geneva advocating, saying, our language is important, and they now made it a standard level class through the International Baccalaureate World Program. So I leave this with you, is that you have a community around you that is beautiful and needs leadership and needs support. Those identities of our children, and knowing that in 2050, our language could be gone. And so how that has been a mission of our school, and know that our doors are always open. Whether you have community members that you want to show people visiting our area, come see our school, come to our Hogan. It's a beautiful space. It's a place that we can showcase the beauty of our culture, and a culture that is immersed in this community. So, thank you so much.
So before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to remind everybody we do have burritos. They could become pocket burritos if you want to take some with you. So please be sure and do that. And then at the end, after Dr. Pendergrass, if you're sticking around and there's questions, we will have some time for some Q&A as well. So I think everybody here knows about San Juan College. I know we had Leadership New Mexico here last week for the second year in a row. They toured San Juan College, and people are just blown away. They're like, this gives off the vibes of a four-year school. And we're just so lucky to have it. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Toni Pendergrass, president of San Juan College. Dr. Toni Hopper-Pendergrass joined San Juan College as president on July 2nd, 2012, reconnecting her roots in San Juan County. Before joining San Juan College, Dr. Pendergrass served as the vice president of learning at San Jacinto College South Campus in Houston, Texas. She also had positions such as interim vice president of academic affairs and student success at El Centro College in Dallas, Texas, an executive dean of communications, mathematics, developmental studies, or students, and teacher prep. With an impressive educational background, Dr. Pendergrass earned her PhD in education administration, specializing in community college leadership from the University of Texas at Austin. She also holds a Master of Science degree in agricultural economics and economics, as well as bachelor's degrees in agricultural economics and business, both from the New Mexico State University. Since beginning her career in community college administration in 1995, Dr. Pendergrass has developed a deep understanding and appreciation of the community college philosophy. Her commitment lies in promoting student success, fostering community partnerships, and driving economic development. Under Dr. Pendergrass's leadership, a wide variety of successful initiatives and projects have propelled San Juan College forward, ushering in new opportunities and growth for students. San Juan College High School was established in 2016 in collaboration with the 4 local school districts to create a high school where students have the opportunity to graduate with an associate's degree while concurrently receiving a high school diploma. Also in 2016, San Juan College was selected as one of 13 community colleges to participate in the American Association of Community Colleges Pathways 2.0 project. In addition, with Dr. Pendergrass's guidance and direction, San Juan College recently joined a cohort of 15 colleges in the National Center of Inquiry and Improvement's Rural Guided Pathways project. A remarkable accomplishment during Dr. Pendergrass's 10 years has been the construction and the grand opening of new student housing, the Joni Sunrise Suites. It opened the fall of 2022. Dr. Pendergrass lives in San Juan County with her husband, Doug, and they have 3 children. Thank you.
So good morning. There's 3 individuals we need to introduce before I get started. We have Cliff Horace, who's a board member for Four Corners Innovation. We also have Andy Hawkins, who's a member of our Four Corners Foundation Board, and also Steve Gray, a member of our Four Corners Foundation Board. And if you're a San Juan College employee, can you please stand? I'm going to clip through my presentation pretty quickly so we finish on time. But we have Michael Artinger, our Vice President for Learning. We have Carmen Martinez, our Director of our Small Business Development Center. Alicia Corbell, our Dean for the School of Energy. We have Yolanda Benally, our Dean for Students. We also have Dr. Lorenzo Reyes, our Vice President of Workforce Economic and Resource Development. We have Martin Brady back there, Director of our Enterprise Center. Annie Willman, who's our Director of Dual Credit. We have Tanda McComb, and we also have Adriana. Sorry, I'm from Dual Credit. I apologize, but thank you so much. So, first of all, it's important that we recognize that San Juan College is located on the ancestral lands of the Dene people. The Hickory Apache, Southern Ute, Ute Mountain Ute, Hopi, and ancestral Puebloan all have ties and stories rooted in these lands and waters. We work, learn, and live on these lands. Just to give you a sense of the college, we serve it's now over 9,000 students. We've had enrollment increases this year annually, and over 4,000 students on the contract training side with our industry partners. We're really proud that we're a majority minority serving institution, and we're proud that we're #1 in the nation out of all 1,108 community colleges for granting certificates to Native American students, and then 3rd for degrees. So we really take our, thank you. We really take our mission and vision really seriously. We were talking about this with our employees just yesterday, but we really want students to thrive, and we want them to have a world-class education. So these are the values that guide our work. We call it I Care, but it's rooted in all of our evaluations and what we do each and every day. The 5 strategic directions that the board has set for us, the first one, which is really important, is partnerships. Partnerships with our K-12 school districts, with universities, and our industry partners. The second strategic direction is making sure that our students get jobs after they graduate, family-sustaining good jobs. The third strategic direction is making sure we have a high-quality learning environment. The fourth strategic direction has to do with making sure that every student that comes to San Juan College achieves their goal and is successful. And then the last one really has to do with making sure we have the appropriate resources available to advance this student success agenda. So I'm going to just breeze through what we've accomplished this last year, and then we'll leave time for questions. So as was mentioned, dual credit is super important to us here at the college. This is how many, the increases we had. As you can see, we had a decrease during COVID, but we're almost up to that 2,000 students a year for dual credit. One thing that we're doing this year with it was actually started at Farmington High, is we're giving graduation cords to anybody that takes 12 credits or more. 270 students in our 15 high schools and home schools are given cords for completing at least 12 credit hours, so that saves them a whole semester. And then we have 57 students that are earning associate degrees, and they are going to wear medallions from San Juan College as well. Light Your Fire courses. This is something that we've worked really hard on to have wow factors in our courses. So we just don't bury them in English and math. We want them to take a Light Your Fire class, if possible, each semester, and it to be really engaging. We work with all of our school districts and the middle schools. As they mentioned, they're trying to really make sure students have an idea of what career they might want to pursue. So we bring them all on campus. We work with a lot of industry partners. Tanda and Jill really coordinate and do a great job with this, but it's all about that college-going mindset. We host a ton of employer recruiting events throughout the year. We're really proud right now that, like, for just as an example, in our School of Energy, all of our students had 4 to 6 job offers. Mock interview sessions. We work with our partners to try and make sure our students are prepared for these interviews and are placed. We've also established a transfer center on our campus that really helps students that want to transfer, and we've had a lot of success with those, and we're really working to have really good relationships and agreements with our university partners. We just signed one with Western Governors University. I was shocked. I did not know that they had 190,000 students at Western Governors, so that was pretty interesting. With respect to career pathway events, we had 123 that we reported with our strategic plan, but we just held one where Vince was our keynote speaker, and we had almost 200 students that committed to pursuing a career in technical education. Some new programs. We've received tremendous support from our local legislative delegation, but we were able to start some new programs. Heavy equipment operator. When we started this class, we had 68 on the waiting list, but this is a 12-week program. They come out with 30 different certifications where they can work in heavy equipment. I know the county called, but I think they were the first call we received to hire all 4 of some of our graduates. Cybersecurity for infrastructure. That's another program. We've had cybersecurity for several years, but this really specializes in those that are working in the utility and energy space. Experiential learning. Tanda's here, Jill's here. Jill and Tanda work really closely with all of our deans and vice presidents to place students in internships and apprenticeships. I know this is a big effort that Farmington also mentioned, but I wanted to show you all of our partners here. And we've received funding from the state, and if you would like an intern, we can provide one to work up to 20 hours a week for $15 to $20 an hour. And this really helps. It's a 90-day interview. Many of these students have been hired. One of our goals with our fourth strategic direction is to really become a Hispanic serving institution. So we've really worked with our community so that we can achieve this. One semester we were 12 students away. The last strategic direction just really, as I mentioned, has to do with the resources. We're doing a conversion into a new technology platform that does everything for the college, from registering a student to getting people paid, dispersing financial aid. Some of the other facilities goals we have at the college, we have new entrances, new roadways. We're building a new physical plant space for those employees right now. We also have a new pump track, thanks to all of you and your support with our local bond. We're thrilled that we have that. I know the city's goal is outdoor recreation in the county, so we're trying to support that. We also have retractable bleachers in our gym, new rigging in our theaters, and we're really excited about, we're building a new classroom on our South Campus, thanks to support from our local delegation for our heavy equipment and fire science students. And then we've worked with all the farmers. Dr. Reyes has really led this work with his team on establishing a co-op. So the city provided us with a wonderful building that they've remodeled, and then we have storefront where you can buy produce and meat. There's cold food storage, and then a commercial kitchen as well if you want to convert some of those products into value added. Dr. Reyes has done a fabulous job with his team on getting grants, nearly $10 million or more per year. And then just to give you a sense of, we have a conversation with our students when they enroll. It's not a formal survey, but we ask them questions and we capture this information and aggregate it. But 1 out of 3 are experiencing housing insecurity. That's why we built housing. It's full. There's a waiting list. We have 150 beds, but there's a waiting list of 50 to 60 students, so we're looking at building more. 1 out of 3 don't have reliable home technology. We check out a lot of laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots for students. 1 out of 5 don't have reliable utilities. 1 out of 8 don't have reliable transportation. And 1 out of 10 are experiencing food insecurity. We know that the food insecurity is underreported nationally because people don't like to admit they're hungry. We also ask students in housing, and they tell us that 1 out of 3 do not go home during breaks because of transportation struggles, home life difficulties, or food insecurity. So we try and give them meal cards when we are not open so that they will meet some of their needs. We've established a health center at the college with a nurse practitioner and a mental health counselor to co-locate these two items together to destigmatize mental health. It's very important, and we're thrilled that we had support from both our federal and local delegation on that. We went through a major 10-year reaccreditation last year, and we met all 19 of the criteria. One thing that I think is important is they indicated in their report that the infrastructure and resources provided to instructors and students to support effective teaching and learning are second to none. So for 9 years in a row, we've received an Excellence in Financial Reporting Award. And then I know we have the CEO of the hospital, Jason Rounds, here with us, but they nominated us, our nursing program, for an award from the hospital association that we were honored to receive. And I wanted to also let you know that we're working very closely with the hospital regarding our nursing program, and they've been tremendously supportive, but we're working on the process, and this fall we will expand our nursing cohort by 50% so we can try and meet the needs, thanks to the support of the hospital. So thank you. So I just have a couple slides left, and so this is Wallet Hub. They help people with their credit rating, and they ranked us 15th in the nation based on educational outcomes and career outcomes and cost, and then we're 7th for cost in the nation. One thing that we wanted to share here is that we're really proud of last year is they measure first-time, full-time graduation rates, and we had the highest graduation rate ever, and our Native American students had the highest graduation rate out of all of our populations. And then this last slide, we just set goals of increasing our amount of graduates by 5% per year, and we've actually increased them by 7.2% per year. So now we'll all answer questions. We have at least 4 minutes.
Vince, we've got the comment back here. You don't have a mic, but you're speaking good, Linda. Yeah.
I have a couple of comments to make, and I'm and I just wanted to say publicly how much I appreciate San Juan College. I'm a proud graduate of the college. I paid my own way through college, so I was able to get a good education. I went on to New Mexico Highlands and got my degree there as well. So I really appreciate the college and everything that he's telling me to hurry up. I appreciate the college very much, and I also appreciate all the work that the educators do. I think it's a really important economic development feature that we have in our community. And so thank you to all of you for the hard work you do each and every day. I really appreciate it.
Anything else? Well, to tag on to what Councilwoman Rogers was talking about with economic development, I mean, workforce development is a huge part of what we're doing. And being able to start this at an early stage, even prior to high school, is important to us. But we appreciate everything you guys are all doing to support us. I know if we ever have a new industry that comes to town or someone's looking at coming and they're looking at trying to develop a workforce, the college and the schools have worked really closely with us and saying, hey, we can help train those people. We can help get them prepared. So that's really important. With that, I want to thank all the presenters for your time this morning and for all the work you're doing for our youth and education in the community. All of these organizations are members of Four Corners Economic Development. And I just would like to invite you, if you're not a member of Four Corners Economic Development, please consider joining. It's really important to me that we have diversity of all the industries represented. And, you know, I think having you guys here is a good way for me to just kind of, everybody's heard me talk about this when they hear me say why I'm involved. It's because of my kids, because I want them to be able to stay here. I want my grandkids to be able to stay here. I want them to have good, high-paying jobs, and we've really got to start working on this today to continue the development and tag on to the work that's been done for the past several years. So get involved, please, for my kids. If you're not on our website already, it's real easy. The letter 4cornersed.com. 4cornersed.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. Please do that. Consider joining. If you have not received a call from Mr. Bird in regard to BRE visits, retention and expansion visits, please let him know. I'll tell everybody in this room, and since we have some legislators here, we hear real strongly that New Mexico is not business friendly, and we want to continue to support that. So, you know, last year we really pushed hard on our advocacy efforts and making sure not only we're keeping people informed of what's going on in the legislature, but giving you a call to action on how you could voice your opinion and who to contact and how to contact them. And we're going to continue that effort. And our next breakfast, Scott?
Yeah, August 12th, same room, Rod Black with New Mexico ED.
Secretary of New Mexico. Yep. So Rob Black, the new Secretary of Economic Development for the state, will be here to speak to us. And we'd love to have you guys. With that, If there's nothing else, have a great day. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you guys.